what do you think, how can, because we have kind of not dilemma, but a very big talk, long talks about the conferences and very multiple guest meetings, talk shows about how to use diasporan potential for Armenian needs. What do you think, what is the kind of the key elements of that? Because people are living in the countries when the faith send them. So it's not, so in Chile, in Argentina, United States, Russia, so people live there and they have their own families, their own problems and their own challenges. So how to complexly, with the complex of problems and with their complete life, how to integrate it to the homeland?
First, that even though we're Armenians in the diaspora in any country, and we have something in common, which is Armenians, as you well said, we are inserted into a society which is different. Exactly. So the diaspora in Brazil is different to the United States, to Chile, Argentina. The Argentina, Uruguay might be a bit similar, but again, they're different to what it is in France. And California might be different from Miami or New York. So you must consider, you can't expect to apply the same formula for each place. You must consider that the Armenians are different, and as you say, they live with different problems, they're different. So you must understand that first. The person who's got to interact must understand that each bit of the diaspora is different. And second, that the people are different. As you say, with different problems, different families, that they've mixed. The Armenians mixed with Italians, with French, with Spanish, with Germans. So they're mixed. So they have influence now, not only of Armenians, but different influences. So you have to find the correct people. Not all the Armenians are going to think the same way. Not all the Armenians are going to dedicate and give in what they're going to stop doing what they're doing, or dedicate time. Because today, it's not only money, it's time. Everybody's on the telephones. So you have to dedicate time, a couple of hours a week, whatever, for the diaspora work. So you have to find the people, the correct people, find those which love Armenia and which are willing to dedicate some time. And second, to work with them in the intellectual level, academic work, to see what can they give towards supporting or helping the national objectives, which can be a help to Armenia direct, or it can be indirect through another country, through a particular area of work. It can be technological, it can be medical, it can be, so there are different ways in which, but the point is, the diaspora minister, he has to know from them what are the requirements, where do they need contacts, because I can get, for example, I put the example of Israel, which I know very well. I worked a lot with Israel. The Israelis have Jews everywhere. And they're not many more than what we are. There are 15 million in the world. But they have everywhere. And you want to go, you want to buy a suit. There's a guy in Paris who will give you a suit at 1/10 of the price. 1/10 of the price that they sell it in Faubourg Saint-Honoré. So, and they want a secret on, I don't know, missiles or whatever, and they'll get. So they'll always have somebody. We have also very good, we have a good network, but we have to organize that network. We have to give the tasking, we have to find what we need, and we put in contact. The diaspora must be the contact, the liaison between the requirements of here and the diaspora here. Or maybe you have a diaspora here in another place, and they have a requirement to be able to do their job for this, but they require not help from Armenia, but from this other one. And that is coordination. That is coordination diaspora. And that you can use. You can use command and control systems. Today, in the advance, in using commercial off-the-shelf equipment for command and control, you can use a lot of it. You can draw a network. There's software which helps you in that. So you can see that it's illimited, the amount of things you can do.
You've met a lot of soldiers and officers and colleagues from all over the world. What are kind of the main difference? We were talking earlier about Yankees, how you can behave. So what are your suggestions with different types of colleagues from all over the world? Because some of them we know very well, but some of them are pretty new to us.
You have to learn, you have to send, I mean, you can be very nationalistic. We are, all Armenians, we're very nationalists. We're very proud of our country, we're very nationalist. And the Chileans also a bit nationalist as well. So you can't expect everybody to think like you. So you must first, one of the rules, try to understand the logic, but how the other people are thinking, to get in their shoes, understand what are their requirements, to understand them. And when you understand them, you can communicate. When you can communicate, you can support each other back. And once you open the heart, the door, it's really the mind, because the heart is a pump. But once you open the mind, you can do everything. You can exchange oil, you give out information, because information which is classified, people won't give it. So in the military, you have to first know the people. Now that costs money, because you have to visit, or you have to send a young guy. You send a young guy, a lieutenant, you send him for 6 months or a year, or you send, I took, for example, in the Navy, in the South we have channels, like in Norway. And I used to invite people from different countries, from Tahiti, from the French. I told, come along, send a couple of guys, so they sail with our young ensigns. So they sail for 6 months, they become friends. And that's just so when those 2 guys are admirals or captains or whatever, before that, they will communicate, their wives will know each other, their children will know each other. And when the guy says, look, I need help for this, do that. There'll be friendship. This is a network. Globalization is networking. If you can start, you should start yesterday. It's something you should start. Now, you don't do it randomly. The random comes anyway. You must do it planned. And it's sociological plan. It's a bit, it's a brave new world. But it's that.
Have you ever met Turkish soldiers or officers?
I met a Turkish attaché. I felt sorry for him. Poor guy, he didn't speak French. I don't speak Armenian, but still. We were in France for 2 years, and the guy didn't speak French at all. He didn't speak English, he didn't speak French, he was uncommunicated, and I felt sorry for him. And the worst assignment I've had, being the chief of the naval zone of Valparaiso, I was in 1995, I think it was, and they called from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they called the governor, the intendant, the head of the region, and he calls me and he said, Admiral, he said they've sent the president of Turkey for 1 day to Valparaiso because they don't know what to do with him in Santiago. So they want to make a program for him to visit. So we're going to take him. What can you help me? Naval Museum. Okay, I'll take him 3 hours. I said, I'll take him. So I had to attend the Turkish president. I was practically with him for about 5-6 hours, accompany him, all the visit. And when he said, you're Armenian? Yes, my family was from Izmir. I said, and they had to leave from Izmir when the Turks put fire on the village, and my grandma had a beautiful 3-story house on the coast, she said, and she took in 200 refugees.
Did you say that? Did you say that?
Of course I told him.
To the president of Turkey?
Yes, I told him. Of course I told him I was outspoken. He laughed a bit uncomfortable, but what the hell with it. I said, he must know to whom he's talking to. He must know that I'm first generation in Chile, that my father had to leave Izmir, and it's not his fault, but
still he should know.
Yes, and I'm Chilean, and I was going to do my job anyway. I showed him a museum, he gave me a present, I gave him a present, we shook hands, perfect. But it came out in the papers, front page the following day, and all the Armenians, my Armenian friends, they said, look, you have a Turkish president. Well, I had to do it. It was my job, you see. And you do it. That's.
Was he surprised to see Armenian in Chile?
Yes, he was surprised. Yes, of course he was surprised. And in the Navy, of course, he was surprised. He didn't expect it, and they didn't think about it, because maybe they should have said, look, let's not send him to Valparaiso because there's an Armenian guy there. Let's send him somewhere else. You see, but they didn't. Huh?
Mr. Kuyumjan, thank you very much for your answers and for your experience. It was very nice.
I hope you don't have to cut too many things out.
No, not at all. It was very interesting. Սելերոստատիտողների, ես հիշեցնեմ, որ մենք զրուցում էինք Չիլիի պաշտպանության նախարարության իդեպ աշխատակազմի ղեկավար, նախին աշխատակազմի ղեկավար վիցե ծովակալ, փոխծովակալ Հերնան Կույումջյանի հետ։ Մեր զրույցի առիթը նրա այստեղ Հայաստանն, այստեղ է Զինված կազմավորման 21-ամյակի առիթով։ Մենք խոսեցինք այն մասին, թե ինչով է կարևոր մարտունակ բանակ եւ որն է մարտունակության բանակի կարևոր բաղկացուցիչը։ Պարոն Կույումջյանի գլխավորը շատ հետաքրքիր մի բանաձևն է առաջարկել, ասում է, որ բանակում գլխավորը դա հոգին է։ Ինչպես է տրամադրված զինվորը, ինչ է զգում այդ բանին։ Երկրորդ դա մտավոր, ինտելեկտուալ աշխատանքն է, ինչ գիտի բանակի մասին, զենքերի ժամանակակից զինտեխնիկայի մասին։ Երրորդը դա զգացմունքներն են, ինչպիսի տրամադրությամբ է ծառայում բանակը եւ 4-րդը նոր միայն ֆիզիկական պատրաստակամությունն է։ Մենք խոսեցինք նաեւ թե ինչպես կարող է սփյուռքը օգտակար լինել Հայաստանին, ըստ պարոն Կույումջյանի, գլխավորը այստեղ ոչ թե փորձել ներգրավել բոլորին, այլ նրանք, ովքեր որ կարող են եւ օգտակար կարող են լինել Հայաստանի համար եւ ամենակարևորը, ոչ թե ազատ ժամանակ ունենան, այլ ժամանակ տրամադրեն Հայաստանի համար գործելու համար։ Նա վերեց օրինակ հենց նույն հрьяաների օրինակը, որոնք ամբողջ աշխարհում մոտ 15 միլիոն են եւ ասաց, որ հрьяաները ստեղծել են այսպես ասած հрьяական ազգությամբ հрьяաների ցանց, որոնք որ կարողանում են օգնել երկրին, այդ առիթով շատ կարևոր է թե ինչ պայմաններով եւ պայմանավորվածությամբ են մարդիկ գալիս։ Այժմ փոխծովակալը 71 տարեկան է, գլխավորում է ունի իր սեփական ընկերությունը, որը կոչվում է Complex Biz եւ զբաղվում է բազմակողմ խնդիրների մի քանի մակարդակներով դրանց լուծմանը։ Ես կարծում եմ, որ դուք վայելեցիք այս հետաքրքիր հայազգի Չիլիից հայազգի փոխծովակալի հետ հարցազրույցը նույնքան, որքան ես ասեմ, որ սա ուղղակի բացառիկ էր այն իմաստով, որ Չիլիում ընդամենը ապրում է 600 հայ եւ այնտեղի պաշտպանության նախարարության աշխատակազմի ղեկավարը հենց ազգությամբ է, իդեպ նա պատմեց, որ 90-ականներին Չիլիի այցելել է Թուրքիայի նախագահը եւ նա ստիպված է եղել որպեսի պաշտոներ նաեւ ուղեկցել Թուրքիայի նախագահին մի քանի տեղեր Ալպարայիսո քաղաքում եւ այդ ընթացքում պատմել է, թե ինչպես էր ընտանիքը Իզմիրից ստիպված թողել փրկվել ցեղասպանությունից եւ տեղափոխվել Չիլի։ Այսքանը համառոտ, եթե բաց եք թողել մեր զրույցը, դուք դիտում եք Արմյուզի բանաձևը, շնորհակալություն ուշադրության համար եւ ցտեսություն։